All right, I'm back. Let's keep going.
Spades here, I
Yeah,
believe, after this.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, cool. And next up is runes. What is your opinion on Conqueror versus Lethal Tempo? I know Lethal Tempo is you go here, but now it's all Conqueror, it seems.
Yeah. I was just testing out tempo, but I think in most games you do want to run Conqueror because Conqueror it has value in lane immediately straight off the bat. So the unique thing about Xayah is that when you auto attack a minion with your feathers and your feather bounces behind the minion and hits the champion, it gives you 2 Conqueror stacks. So basically your feathers, if they bounce
I didn't know that. That's very interesting, actually.
off the minions, it counts as an ability, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So you're able to stack up
2 stacks of Conqueror getting 1.8 to 4 adaptive 4 stack over 12 times. Range champions get 1 stack per basic attack. Wait. Am I mistaken or is that 5 AD? Hit percent 8% of damage you do to champions. 5% per ranged. If you do 500 damage, it's 50 damage. So she gets a little bit of a burst heal back when she feather recalls. Not terrible. I can see where he's coming from with this.
Conqueror pretty quickly with Xayah's playstyle. So you get immediate value out of lane when you run Conqueror, especially when you can hit your Qs, your Es, your auto attacks bounce off the minions. But if you run
I mean, it's not. I mean, you're not gonna get that much value in lane. Just if you look at the pure numbers, it's like it's so negligible. It's likely not even gonna have a big difference in lane. However, out of lane, I think it has a big opportunity.
lethal tempo, Xayah struggles with auto attacking, right? Her biggest weakness is definitely her short range. So you're not always going to be guaranteed the lethal tempo value. Like you need to auto attack, right? And ramp it up. Conqueror is just definitely a much stronger laning rune.
I think what he's saying here is that you have a good mix of like poking and long extended fights. And you get value from both, I think, what he's saying here. And I actually think he's onto something with this.
Which is why I prefer running it on Xayah in the early game.
And the rest of the yellow tree?
However,
Are you changing this?
I've used this a couple times. I thought it was kind of like ass in lane personally, but
at all, or is it this your cookie cutter every single game?
Usually it's just my cookie cutter. You can go Triumph, I think, if you don't think you're able to spam your abilities too much. But I think Presence of Mind is just really valuable because
don't run Triumph. You're gonna run out of fucking mana so fast. The only time you go Triumph is if you know you're gonna run Essence. If you know 100% for a fact you're going Essence, you don't need the what's it called, Presence of Mind. Same thing with like Bloodthirster. You're not gonna go fucking Bloodline for lifesteal if you're on Bloodthirster. You know what I mean?
Like a poke champ in the early lane phase. So I just think being able to, spam your Q and E as much as possible is really valuable. And yeah, I generally, Bloodline is...
You can't spam it that much.
Basically just want to run every game, right? Unless you want to greed for attack speed. But I think Bloodline, having lifesteal in the game is just really valuable so you can actually stay in lane. And also, if you get hit by one spell, you're not out of the fight immediately.
I kind of disagree. Like, generally speaking, you need like 2 or 3 waves mid-game to get a reasonable health pullback, which is just not very pragmatic in lower elos. Because you're going to have idiots stealing farm and shit like that. I think just bringing attack speed and dodging can be a little bit more viable in those situations.
And then cut down, you would never change any of these?
I'm not saying Bloodline's not good. I'm just saying I've had more success running attack speed runes, personally.
Yeah. Once again, I just think cut down is, Xayah wants to, play the poke. So this activates immediately, right? Because it deals immediately 8% more damage when they're above 60% HP. So yeah, I would always just run cut down no matter what in every single game.
True.
And looks like you're in the inspiration tree for the free boots, I imagine.
See, the problem with magical footwear is every time I run that, I just get ganked like 18 times. Doesn't matter where I am in the lane. The second I push up, I'm just fucking dead. That's because I'm looking at this from like a low to mid elo perspective. Like I'm looking at this from like silver to Emerald 1, right? Those players are so goddamn unpredictable with what they do. Like, a motherfucker could skip... What a motherfucker could do... What's like a common low elo? It's like red raptors. I'm saying a motherfucker go red raptors, wolves bot. And then he came back, did Krugs, enemy gromp, bot again. Which is good in a sense, but I don't think he was doing it intentionally. I think he was just kind of going through the motions. It's very unpredictable is what I'm trying to say. And having that movement speed early is very helpful because you always have like an awkward amount of gold.
Yeah.
Although you are less tempted to spend gold on like... So if you spend 300 gold and you're 300 gold for like a BF sword, then you're kind of fucked. But Other than
So
that.
I usually prefer. I think both boots and cashback are like viable options. I just think movement speed is really OP on AD carry. Free 300 gold as well. I just think having the movement speed to like position yourself
Cashback is clutch. Yeah, it's true.
in good areas where you can like get a nice pullback on your feathers is really valuable. And as I said, Xayah has short range, so getting that extra MS can be helpful to just weave in and out of team fights.
Yeah, he's right. How much time does this give? Like, is it 15? Something like that. That is noticeable. Like, MS is the most important stat on an attack damage carry besides the attack speed, right? You need attack speed to kite properly and for muscle memory, and then you need movement speed to not get shit on by everything. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a shit ton of movement speed, but no attack speed, because it doesn't mean anything. Like, yes, I actually have a. It's funny. I actually have a top lane build where I run. What's it called? What the fuck is it called? Oh yeah, that's right. Storm Razor. This is unironically a split push top lane Xayah build. I go. Let me see if I have the actual like items. I don't think I wrote them down. I might have. Where is it at? It's not this. I don't know. I don't think I wrote it down. I don't think I put it down somewhere. But it was very, very funny. It might have been Bork, LDR, Hullbreaker, Yaksho, Overlords. Actually, it's probably not even LDR. It's probably Found Answer because you're not playing to kill the enemy. You're playing to kill the towers and run away.
Cosmic.
And Cosmic.
Yeah, it's just useful for flash. I think having summoner spells up as much as possible in solo queue is really valuable, right? Just having your
18 summoner spell haste. What exactly does that mean? That's probably what, 4%? Depending on the summoner spell. So you get at most 20 seconds. Like, how realistic is 20 seconds? Like, how often do you die with 20 seconds left back in your flash? You know what I'm saying? And the item haste is basically that's useless, basically, in almost every situation.
flash or barrier. Solo queue can be very chaotic. So having your flash up as much as possible is really valuable.
I would argue, what's it called? This one? Approach velocity is more useful. Just saying. Or biscuits for very pokey lane phases.
In my opinion. And also you can like E-flash. This Xayah's one of Xayah's main mechanics is E.
Yeah, but again. How much haste is 18%? You know what? 18 ability haste. 15%. I might have actually been wrong. Hold up. 60 times 5 times 0.15. 45 seconds. Okay, I can see that being a somewhat useful. I can see that.
E-flash, and that's something.
I can see where it's coming from with this. I actually agree with it. However, I still think biscuits are quite useful.
That having your flash up can be quite impactful in making plays.
And also now the base stats here, so attack
I'm gonna
speed.
skip that.
I would just go scaling health. I think Xayah is one of the better short range champions that can survive lane because of how her abilities function and the range that she has.
Scaling all the big everyone. Like, the early health is very uncommonly useful. Oh, that's funny. It's showing little Streamlabs thing. Let me get rid of that.
So I would just read scaling HP unless you're playing like a super volatile matchup, right? And then I would go.
The flat health is not even, because here's the thing with these. You get 65 health by level 5, I believe, right? So you match that at by level 5. Like, how often do you just get absolutely obliterated? And how often is 30 health like gonna be the difference? Not that commonly. It can happen, but if you want to play hyper aggro, she does have an extremely high base health. She has 630, which is quite high for an ADC. So you could theoretically have around 700
HP.
And we'll probably talk a little bit more about when we actually get to the game, Violet. But skill order, is this changing at all? Max
I think
E?
I think you always want max E. It's your bread and butter ability. Your W does an insane amount of damage, and your Q is just there to basically have you get more feathers. You're not really using it for any damage later on in the game.
Oh shit.
Makes sense. Right, what I like to do now here, Violet, is look at what the general Xayah community is building based on the stats
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I've gone Global Platinum Plus. So it looks like 60, you said the pick rate, yeah, 61% of people are going Essence Reaver.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you said
That's
that
interesting.
you adapted
I think that's like noobs. I don't know. I'd have to try it.
all your, between Essence Reaver, Yuntal, and then Storm Razor, you didn't like Hex Optics, which is
Yeah,
even
yeah.
more popular, by the way, than Storm Razor.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, everyone going Essence Reaver on this champ?
I mean, I think it makes sense, right? Like, it has all the stats that Xayah likes, ability haste, which is also good for her ability uptime, right? She wants to get as many feathers out. Gives her good AD, good crit.
I think Essence Reaver is best for her ult, but I even think her ult cooldown is a little overrated. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit.
These items that I said are like viable on Xayah, right? I think it's just way harder to get a BF sword by, which also just makes it easier to default to Essence Reaver as well, right? Because you just have a double longsword buy on a base. It's very hard to like.
Amazing build path. I think that's why probably why most people go it. They go, oh fuck, I don't have enough for a fucking BF sword, which makes building Yuntal a pain in the fucking ass. You can automatically lose lane because you tried to build Yuntal without enough gold, and then you just have like an extremely awkward amount of gold for like 5 minutes, and then you're fucked.
"Quote unquote" like plan around BF sword buy, especially when solo queue is extremely chaotic, right?
Too chaotic, yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense then.
Let's say if someone starts learning and picking up Xayah for the beginning of their journey, would you recommend just go Essence Reaver every game, or would you?
No, I would not do that. I would recommend going Yuntal whenever you have 1300, and then going Essence Reaver whenever you don't have 1300, just to simplify it. If you don't back on 1300, then go Essence. Plain and simple.
You tell them they should, with a BF sword buy, more so you go on the Yuntal or the Storm Razor.
Yeah, I definitely would recommend Essence Reaver for like newer players starting Xayah. It's very, very hard to be able to identify like when you can greed for a BF sword buy, if that makes sense, or when you can overstay on the map. It requires a lot more, I guess, knowledge about like the game and like, the fundamentals. So if you want like a cookie cutter, like straight up just buy Essence Reaver, I think it's still a great item in Xayah. It's just the spike is not as strong as BF sword, but it's still a very solid item in Xayah once you actually hit it. So.
BF sword spike goes crazy. The only thing that went harder than BF sword was lethality. However, that builds in the best thing that builds into is collector, and collector is a terrible scaling item.
Okay, Berserker Greaves. I mean, everyone's picking these. I don't really think anyone really cares about the Greaves here. It looks like 10% pick rate, so that makes sense. You explained that.
Yeah.
So second item, everyone's going the Navore Flicker Blades. Obviously, you said this is really important for.
I actually think Phantom Dancer is overrated. I mean, underrated in certain matchups. I get why Flicker Blade's good, because Flicker Blade is incredible at shredding tanks. However, if there's let's say there's 3 ranged, like let's say there's 2 mages, an assassin, what's like a fighter top, and then a mage support. Fighters aren't tanky enough to, I don't think, because like usually they just build straight health, right? So you can easily still shred a fighter with Phantom Dancer, and you can run away from them. Like Phantom Dancer gives like 20 to 30 movement speed. It was like an outrageous amount of movement speed. An outrageous amount, especially if you combine it with Swifties, which is like uncommon. And I think Swifties are a little bit grief if you're going here in the actual bot lane.
Or Xayah, but you just really like the Infinity Edge second
Because
item.
if you need to go Swifties, then you're already fucked. Like, you're already useless.
You tried to
Yeah.
this.
So I definitely do. No, I
Do not greed full ED items with no attack speed second. It's a recipe of a disaster. It's so uncomfortable to try and like weave auto attacks in without her deadly plumage, her W, without the attack speed from the second item. It just makes things extremely awkward, even with berserkers.
Flickle Blades is a really good item in Xayah. I just think if you have the gold, you can just greed for BF sword. If you're having like a great game in Xayah, you're like super fed, you're like 5-0.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, yeah, he's right to an extent. Right? If you are extremely head, which is not that common in lane, and generally speaking, it's kind of hard to win lane with Xayah.
Out of lane, you
Unless you're like fucking on Adderall, cracked out of your mind, playing perfect, and have a decent support that isn't just running it down.
greed for like max damage combo, right? Because like I think for the first like couple seconds, you need the fight to go really long for Flickle Blades to have like more value, if that makes sense, right? Because it reduces
Yeah,
your
exactly. That's why I think the player base is overgeneralizing it. It's extremely good for objectives. Like, you will shit on a Baron with this, bro. Straight up. Or tanks. And I mean actual tanks, not necessarily bruisers. I mean, like, maybe a set. It's pretty good against like things like set, but like generally speaking, I think you could have more value from Phantom Dancer in lower elos because you get less help, if any. So that movement speed is extremely useful.
basic ability cooldowns, when you're auto attacking. So you need the fight to go much longer. But in my opinion, fights don't really go that long until the late game, right? Until the late game full team fights, where it's like everyone's a lot tankier, and then Flicker Blades has more value. So I definitely, would recommend just going Flicker Blades if you don't have the money. But if you're super rich, you're super fed in game.
Yeah, I would go if you like new to her and you don't know what you're doing, just go Flicker Blades. Just go Flicker.
I definitely would consider just going IE second, right? It just depends on how much gold you have, really.
And then for third item, is it Lord Doms pretty much that you really like third item?
It's pretty good. Tanks are pretty common nowadays. I'd say that's very good. Even if you don't have a tank, almost everyone has more health than you as an ADC now, especially with mages and their health items. It's guaranteed value pretty much. There's no reason not to go with third item, generally speaking. I think the only time it wouldn't have crazy value is if they went a full 5-man hyper squish comp, which is actually not that uncommon in lower elos.
Yeah. So I really enjoy Lord Doms. As I said, once again, it's the same concept, right? Flicker Blades. As I said, you want the fights to go long for Flicker Blades to have.
I think let me reiterate that. There are very rare circumstances where if they're running like a crazy poke comp, of like just full burn like Bran, Malzahar, or Syndra, and what's a tank? What's like a pokey top laner? I don't know, but you get what I mean. Bloodthirster in those rare situations can actually be very helpful and more useful. Because it doesn't matter if you have pen, you can never reach them without getting annihilated.
Max value. Lord Doms is just, once again, another greedy option. I think last was like 1450 gold, so you can go like Essence, i.e. LDO for like max damage, in terms of like your first two combos in a team fight. But generally speaking, you always want to fit in Flicker Blades, second, third, or fourth. But I do think all these items are interchangeable. It just really depends on how much you want to greed for like max damage your first three combos, if that makes sense.
So for a beginner Xayah player, would this literally left column be perfectly fine for them to just send every game? They'll be fine. Essence into into Quick Blades, into IE, into Lord Doms. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that would be like a perfect build to stick to, right? You don't have to it's like these are still really perfect items in Xayah. I just think depending on what you buy, it just really depends on how greedy you are. That's what it comes to how much money you have and how greedy you are. But you can definitely just stick to this left build. Like it's still like a great build,
And sometimes if you aren't greedy, you're just gonna lose, just straight up. That's just kind of how it is. If you are too safe, you're gonna fall off, and then you're gonna lose. If you're too greedy, you're gonna fall off and you're gonna lose. So it's a very thin line to walk.
on Xayah.
Yeah. So your match history, you must just have a lot of gold.
Because Xayah's not really, she's not really a stat check champion. She really isn't. She's not like Emma where she can walk up to you, 3-shot you, and then leave. Or Draven where she can walk up, hit 4 autos, leave, kill you, and then just keep doing that over and over. She has strong limitations. Now, granted, if you're running at the Xayah like an idiot, and there's like multiple, she can shred basically everyone if they run to her. Just don't run to her. It's pretty simple. She's extremely bad at chasing.
Like a lot of games, I'm just getting a lead in the early game, so I'm able to just really maximize my greed and just trying to go for the max damage possible.
Okay.
If you want to maximize greed, maximize farming. Maximize farming and not getting poked and not getting baited by your support.
Talking about sort of late game items like 5th item, 6th item, all that.
Those aren't really that big of a deal. They're extremely situational dependent. Extremely situationally dependent.
What are you thinking around? Do you Bloodthirster? What is your opinion on the heal cut, actually? Let's ask about that. Do you like Mortal Reminders and AD carry these days?
No, I'm not a fan of Mortal Reminder, generally speaking. I think the Giant, ever since they added back the Giant Slayer passive on Lord Doms, it's like really, really broken. Yeah. I think unless they have like a disgusting amount of healing, like they have literally like Soraka, Mundo, Aatrox,
yep.
Like triple like super insane healing characters, I wouldn't really recommend going heal cut, generally speaking. Like even if they have like one Soraka but no one else on their team can heal, I would probably still go Lord Doms over heal cut. I just think Lord Doms outperforms.
You like a double healer.
Yeah, I think it's straight up just a much better item. If they have an insane amount of healing, I would consider it, but usually just default to Lord Doms, pretty much.
Yeah, don't get baited by these idiots in chat. What happened? What the fuck just happened?
In most games.
I was saying you had a lot of QSS, Mercury.
I was about to say, don't get baited by idiots in chat that spam go heal cut because they're idiots. Like, they're fucking shitters. 99% of the time.
Real Scimitar. I didn't really see any GAs. Do you? I guess it's sort of game.
Mercurial Scimitar is kind of piss useless. I'm gonna be honest. Kind of a weird item. Like it's not. It's like too expensive for what it does. You know what I mean? And generally speaking, late game CCs are up quite fast, like 5 seconds. Like 10 seconds is probably the longest CC you'll have. Like, I'm thinking of like Pantheon. What's Pantheon W? Like 8 to 12 seconds, depending on how much CDR he has that game. And it doesn't give the cleanse passive either. You know, the cleanse passive gives you the what do you call it? The fucking the lingering CC reduction.
Dependent. What do you think about Xayah versus the scimitar?
I mean, they're both great items. I think
Movement speed is not bad. I'm just not a crazy fan. I think if they increase the magic resist, it would be better, personally. Because how often, like a Ramus, you know what I mean? Like, how often do you like do a clutch cleanse? Like realistically, because here's the thing about this: if you're getting died by 4 or 5 people, 3 people, even 3 people, in some cases even 2, and you don't have a support, you're just gonna die regardless. So you might as well just keep going full glass, and just try to pump or build Bloodthirster, which will give you more durability than this.
the only reason you would go QSS is 1, you need MR, and 2, they have like a lot of CC, right? You know, if they have a Sejuani, if they have a Leona, if they have, you know, a lot of CC champions that can, you know, lock you down.
For Leona ult, yeah, this could work. But I think cleanse as a summoner spell is better. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That's just me.
Definitely just go Scimitar. But if they have just general, not much CC, but high damage, you just want to go GA, right? GA just lets you play a lot more aggressive because you have an extra life.
Would you ever build Bloodthirster?
I would build Bloodthirster. I think it's a bit greedy going at 5th. Like, I usually would buy this, like, last.
I'm a Bloodthirster simp. I'm sorry. I just think it's very useful. Specifically in low elo. I realize it's kind of grief in the high elo. It's a little grief. But generally speaking, I think the durability it provides is extremely useful against certain comps.
Because generally speaking, as I said, once you max on crit, right? After your forward items, you max on crit. You want to go, like, a defensive option.
Because, like, what happens with Guardian Angel most of the time, right? You get dived. Then it's basically up to your team, right? I mean, if your team's not paying attention, no one cares. G is useless, right? Like, they're going to dive you. Your team's already killing them, diving them. You fucking die, you come back, they kill you, and they finish off your team, right? That happens a lot. It happens a lot more than you would think. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying it's much more. I'm saying Bloodthirster gives you a guaranteed value compared to Guardian Angel having like a percentage chance of getting a horrible value.
Quote-unquote defensive option, GA or QSS, right? Depending on if they have CC or not. And then I would not go BT unless, once again, you're super rich, you're super confident.
Unless you go Guardian Angel, what's that Elixir of Wrath, whatever, with the physical vamp. That's okay.
This item's also really expensive. You know, it doesn't really give defensive stats. Or if they have a lot of poke. If they have
disagree.
Zoe,
I disagree.
Ezreal, Lug.
It technically does. You healing and you're getting health back, so it's basically phantom health.
A lot of these poke champions, where, you know, if you get hit by 1 skill shot, you need a life steal backup. That's when I would consider BT.
I disagree. I think he's missing the brawling potential of Bloodthirster. The amount of healing that thing does in a brawl is outrageous. Unless you're playing like another ADC where you get 3 shot.
So it's either one, you're super confident, you don't need more defensive stats, or they have
Or they ban to heal and it's going to be useless.
Awesome. Any other honorable mentions for items? There's any questions that people ask you a lot about, like, oh, could this item work on Xayah? Like, I'm theory crafted this, Violet, or like you just tell people. It's pretty simple.
I mean, it's pretty simple and straightforward. I think all her items are like non-negotiable. I think the only one
How many games has this guy played? I'm a little curious. I'm looking at this.
Is, you know, the first item, right? You can go Yuntal, Stormrazer, or Essence Weaver, but Flicker Blades, IE, and LDR are
Why is it so fucking long? Can we like finish this already? Jesus Christ.
pretty much non-negotiable. You always want to be building these items every game, right? In order to maximize your damage. You know, this is your 3 core. Your first item can be interchangeable depending on your first base. But yeah, your 4 crit items are interchangeable. Like, there's no reason to go Shieldo or like the other crit items. You always want to
Yeah,
be
she was
IE,
ass. Don't go that. Ass.
LDR, and then you'll
Maul's also ass, unless you're like mid.
5th and 6th items are dependent
Who
on
the fuck plays I mid? No one. Like, it's
the enemy champions.
like I'm all for it, but it's just not. It's just no one does it.
Right. whether they have CC, whether you need GA to survive burst, or BT if they have non-poke, or you feel very confident in the game.
Right, yeah, IDC items, whenever I do these episodes of IDC items, it really simplifies the game a lot of the time.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
like-
it's very straightforward.
Yeah,
compared
it's
to other
straightforward.
champions.
All right, let's jump into the practice tool now.
Yeah, surprisingly. And then you get in the game and you get shit on, and you're like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, but what's
Okay,
this
so
guy's
Bob-
name? Fuck is this pussy's name? Rank 1 player, rank 1 challenger player, Violet. Give me his fucking OBGG, bro. Okay, there we go. VV. It's kind of it's a little zesty. Fucking. Okay. Bro, is Zest maxing out here? Okay, let's see this. What the fuck? I'm expecting a lot of games. Like a lot. Why does every Xayah player also play Ezreal? That's so interesting. Okay. Ooh. This pussy don't play? What the fuck? Is this bugged? Okay, buddy. Like, what? Okay, how do I go back? Or is this shit just tripping? What the fuck? What is this? That's crazy. Why is that an ad? Fuck, how do I go back? I know there's a way to do it. 2025. Go back. Wait, 2025? What the fuck was the last guy this guy played? Champions. Season. Come on. This fucking website, dude. Yes, you saw the. Yes, you saw the fucking history right. Okay, dude, this guy doesn't play. Like, what the fuck? When was this made? 2 weeks ago. This guy doesn't play the game. Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? You fucking pussy. I mean, it looks like he has a lot, but I think what he's trying to say, like, you just can't one-trick this champion to challenger, just straight up. You can tell because every single Xayah player, no matter what, never has them in the top 2 champions most played. Okay, because look at his champion pool. Xayah and Ezreal. Disgustingly overpowered champions when played right. Just absolutely brutal. And then you have the perfect front to back, right? And Ezreal's kind of like, he's half front to back, half dive. Kai'Sa's full dive, then Xayah's full front to back. So it's more about the cohesiveness of his champion pool rather than one specific champion, if that makes sense. But anyways, that's it. I'm done for now. I'll make a video on the other shit later.